Can we play a little true or false real quick here?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. All right. At the end of last season, we see Ryan Kerkering just have an all-time bad moment. It was genuinely horrible. Just had no plan, froze, didn't execute. You know the deal. Like, let's not pile on, but it was bad. People like myself then raced to their phones and said, like, well, that has to be it for him here. He's not going anywhere. He is here.
Yeah.
Do you think, again, true or false, it is fair to say that he is under an immense amount of pressure this season? And do you think it was an overreaction to say, like, man, he might be better served going somewhere else?
I think there'll be some pressure from the fan base, but not from the organization. And I think that's the important thing. What the Phillies are going to really have to do a good job of doing is making sure that he avoids the outside noise, right? I do think it was an overreaction in the moment to say he can never pitch here again.
And I was like one of the people that kind of said it. And then time passed and I'm like, I don't know. But I'll be honest with you. Like, there's part of me that's like, yes, he can pitch here again.
Yeah.
But, like, would he be better off elsewhere? Now, to his credit, he stood up and took it. He answered the questions. He was a man about it, like all those things. And I applaud him for that. Yeah. I also don't think that the fans are going to be particularly brutal against him. I think that the fans are frustrated with the Phillies in general. I think they're frustrated with this core. I think they're frustrated with the front office. Ryan Kerkering gets a ball in the 7th inning of the first series at Citizens Bank Park this spring. I don't think that they're going to boo him. I think they're probably going to it's a different fan base in a way. Like, as nuts as we are about the Eagles, like the Eagles won a Super Bowl 11 months ago and everyone's like, fire the coach. What does he do? This organization's screwed. Like, and everyone's crazy. And as Philly as ever when it comes to the Eagles, I feel like this is a different time though with like the rest of the sports. And I actually think that people are going to rally around him and try to support him.
Yeah, no. I agree with you up front. Like, I think that his first appearance, I would not be surprised if there's an ovation. Right, because that's what we've become known for now. The Philadelphia, they give their struggling.
Yeah, and like not in a fake or like inauthentic way. Like, I think people are going to be like, you know what, you stood up, you ate it, you're back, let's go.
That's right, exactly. But if he goes a couple games in a row where he struggles, that's where the pressure comes in, right? And that's what I'm talking about. But I also think that you're probably looking at a more reduced role for this guy, right? They brought in Brad Keller for a reason. Mm-hmm. So you now look at your back end is, Duran is your 9th inning. Your setup guys, lefty is Alvarado, righty is Keller. So Kerkering kind of falls into that middle relief kind of role. He's important, but not as important. He's the 4th guy in the bullpen, not the 2nd or 3rd, right? Okay. And I think that slight change makes it a little bit easier for him.
Yes, it does seem that he has struggled in those moments and those big moments to be consistently good, and you'd like to see his role be diminished a little bit. And so I like that. True or false? This is a fun one. Yeah. Someone with the Phillies thought that Matt Strahm was a total pain in the ass.
True, and not just one someone. Okay, multiple someones.
Is that you can verify that?
Well, there was some. Here's the one public example I'll give you. You remember since we were talking about Kerkering, you remember, after it happened, Strahm saying we should have done more.
Yeah, the PFP
right?
gate.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when Dombrowski was asked about it, he said, we did do PFPs during the week before the playoffs. Not everybody.
He didn't do them.
Yeah, he didn't do it. Whatever exact quote was. And Dombrowski's 100% right. Like, I was there at that practice day and watched them do the PFPs. Like, I could verify, eyewitness, they happened. If Matt Strahm didn't participate, he didn't participate. All right. So there is an obvious example of the strain between Strahm and the organization.
Yeah.
Not that it was like awful. Like, you got to get the hell out of here. It's not that it was untenable, like the Castellanos Rob Thompson situation. It was one that it was like, Yeah, it's enough.
I know they have 3 lefties, and like Banks had a good year, and Alvarado's here, and like that's all fine and well. But I'm like, it wasn't like an embarrassment of riches from the left side, and it wasn't like it was some wonderful return that they got for him. It was just I thought that was indicative of kind of where they were at with him. And yes, he was on the decline, but like he wasn't bad last year either.
No, I think
bad this year.
But I also think that if you look what they've done, even with the guys that they've added that are fringy, like they traded for Chase Shugard, right? The other day, right? Like,
yeah, people forget that.
Yeah, they've gone more towards more velocity in the pen. Yeah. And Matt Strahm was not a velocity guy. No. And so the Phillies should see a significant upgrade in velocity. Doesn't mean it's going to be better. It might not be. It could be worse. But at the very least, their relief pitchers are going to throw harder.
Okay, so, I got a few more for you.
Go ahead.
Let's see here. Let's go down the list. Alec Bohm will be the Phillies starting third baseman on opening day.
If you asked me this 24 hours ago, I would have said no.
Yeah. So
now
he's back.
Now he's probably back.
Bryson Stott will be the Phillies second baseman on opening day in 2027.
No.
This is it?
Well, I don't think this is it necessarily for him as a Philly. I don't think that he's their starting second baseman in 2027.
So really that question for me is more rooted in like, do we think we're going to see finally like Bryson Stott really put it all together and look like the guy we kind of thought he might be? Or are we going to kind of get this like, well, he was good for 2 months and then he was dreadful and he's okay?
I have a feeling. Here's what I have a feeling. And again, this is me reading some tea leaves. I don't have any knowledge, but when I'm one of those people who truly believes that people like Dave Dombrowski don't say the things that they say publicly unintentionally. Mm-hmm. And when we were at the winter meetings, Todd Zalecki, we were sitting around a table talking to Dave, just asking a bazillion questions. And Todd Zalecki at one point said, you don't envision asking Trey Turner to go to another position at any point in 2026, do you? And he says, no, I wouldn't think about doing that now. But it was the indication of down the line. Yeah. So Aiden Miller's coming. Right. And talk to, I don't know if you know, do you follow Aram Layton, Just Baseball?
Yeah.
Okay. So Aram Layton, who's prospect guy, big prospect guy in the majors. He talked to Tim Kelly and I over for on Pattison, and we were talking all about Phillies prospects. And he said he was of the camp initially that Aiden Miller was not a shortstop. He said in this past year, Aiden Miller grew so well that his grade at shortstop is up to 60. He's a 60 grade shortstop. If that's the case, Aiden Miller is going to be the Phillies shortstop in 2027. And Trey Turner will probably slide to second base. Could I see Bryson Stott staying with the team at third base? Because I think that was part of a possibility to begin with if they signed Bo Bich-ette. Yes.
Yeah.
So is he the starting second baseman in 2027? No, in my mind, but I don't necessarily know that means he's not starting somewhere for the Phillies.
Let's talk a little Garcia real quick because the Phillies, at some point since our last show, signed him. Over under 250 average with the Phillies in 2026.
Under.
Over under 17 home runs with the Phillies in 2026.
Over. Okay. Just because it's easier to hit home runs in Citizens Bank Park.
How many?
How many does he hit?
Yeah.
23.
Okay. And over under 72 runs batted in with the Phillies in 2026.
I'll say over just because he's going to be behind guys who are going to get on base.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just read you the over-under of what Nick Castellanos did in 2025.
I think it's an upgrade, right? It's not a huge upgrade. It's the biggest upgrade is defensively.
Yes.
Right. But statistically, he's probably not as good an average guy as Castellanos. He's not going to get the bloop singles that Castellanos used to get, right? Because Castellanos would find a way to get his bat on the ball and bleed it into the outfield somewhere and get a single. So I don't think you're going to get that out of Adolis Garcia. but I do think you're going to see a little bit more power and production. Not a lot.
Yeah. Well, I realize that wasn't a true false proposition, but I will follow it with the last one I have. Brandon Marsh / Otto Kemp.
Yes.
Justin Crawford and then Garcia together. Is that a bottom, true or false? That's a bottom 8 outfield in Major League Baseball.
I'd have to really look at everybody's outfield, to ask it that way. I don't think it's bottom 8. It's not top. It's not top.
Yeah, I feel like Justin Crawford comes up and hits 270 and hits like 9 home runs, and he's like fine defensively, but you're like, okay, that was.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. I don't know if we talked about this or not, and this on this show.
I think. Can I just say? I'm sorry. I just think their outfield stinks. I hate their outfield. I hate this outfield.
Yeah, I don't hate it. It's just
I hate it.
It's not inspiring. Let's put it that
also,
way.
Like if you gave me like Brandon Marsh's baseball card and you were like, he's going to just hit righties this year, we're not going to even pretend and he's only going to play left field. He's not a center fielder. We finally understood that. And you gave me the card, I'd say like, fine, good. Yes, this is a good player. I want him. But also I watched the playoffs last year and what a loser player he was for them.
Yeah. So here's what, again, this is the Dombrowski doesn't say anything unintentionally, right? So I asked him about platoons. And this was, I don't know if I said it on this show or not. If I did, I apologize for repeating myself. And he does one of his typical, and he starts to tell a history lesson. Yeah. And he's like, most people here won't remember these players, but back in 1983, Earl Weaver and the Baltimore Orioles put together a left field platoon of John Lowenstein and Gary Renicky. And everybody back then was like, oh, there's no way that these guys can compete. What are they doing? Playing those guys and think they're going to win a World Series. And then they went and won the World Series because those guys combined for 35 home runs. I went back and looked at it, Bob, and I thought and this is why I say it's very intentional what he does. Their combined OPS, they hit 34 home runs, not 35, but again, split hairs. Their combined OPS was 827. One of them against lefties, one of them against righties, 827. Last year, Brandon Marsh against righties and Otto Kemp against lefties combined, OPS was 827. It was exactly the same.
Yeah, and if you define their roles from the jump and you say this is what we expect of you, there could even be an uptick on that. And Brandon Marsh, by the way, didn't have a hit until Memorial Day. So you could say his numbers will even be better this year. I know. This is the trap that I was talking about at the beginning of the show. It's just seriously, this again, that's the problem. It's not that it's even a bad solution. It's just the same solution. And I want something different because I am bored.